Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do Hawkman issue number 14. This time the storyline Eyes of the Hawk 1 of 4. I got all 4 of them. Covered by Lee Weeks. Writer is Bill Mesner-Lopes, if I'm saying that correctly. And the pencil is Steve Lieber. Now, before we get into, this is a different Hawkman that I've known for many years. I mean, I know a lot of DC characters like for pre-crisis, even after that, but it seems that this, I don't have much Hawkman, by the way, so I don't know, unfortunately, know everything, but I did some digging. So it seems that this Qatar Hall has been reborn from the ashes of Qatar Hall, the Hawk entity in the Golden Age Hawkman and Hawkgirl, which is a little bit confusing to me because Qatar Hall is Hawkman or something. I don't know. And I believe he's also from Indian or Native American descent because his mother is Naomi Carter. And Naomi Carter is this, well, basically his mother. And Nicole Carter has been in a relationship with his Hartman's father called Paran Qatar. There's a whole storyline about that I have no clue about how that went and goes. So, well, now you're a little bit up to date about how it's all, going with this Hawkman. Anyway, less jabbering, more reviewing. So let's go in. So we have a narrative that speaks from the outside, looking inside of what's happening here. So someone says, when I think of Ephraim, I think of blood, a truly present thought. Of all of us, he's the most elemental, the most in touch with his life and death. The young man is who? The hitman from whose wife Ephraim desanctified? Or is this the restaurateur whose buildings he had condemned? They all blend together. And then he does this, that's good. The claw must have come as a shock since they are, in a sense, spiritual. Ephraim hardly ever manifests his powers physically. He prefers the surprise. So then he does this, and then the narrator says, this is my favorite part. I enjoy seeing him feed. So, yeah. So you can see there's something going on with this guy. And, looks great. I mean, so who is this guy? Probably this guy, but who is this guy? I don't know. So, let's dive in. So we go back a little bit from the previous, what happened in the previous issues. And I believe there is a storyline called, let me double check real quick. Where is it? Skipping. I'm sorry, Godspawn, yes. So there was an event called Godspawn. I have that as well, but I decided to do this review instead of that. And this is some kind of a fallout from that, or fallout, aftermath. Maybe that's the right word. So we have here, there's a post guy comes, and we have Shayera, who is living with these guys for reasons because he has no money and he doesn't know where to go. So, and he is a big fan of a guy called Ephraim Dees. And so the mother of Qatar says, hey, can I sign? And then this guy is still gibbering about that he's a big fan and he has cool ideas how to make buildings, and he wants to know what's in this letter. And then Shariera comes and says, listen, you tweel, you're never going to see inside that envelope. You are never going to build a building. And if you don't hand that letter over right now, you won't even see a tip. And then he says, oh, I'm sorry. So, and then out of nowhere, we see that Jean Loring is here. Now, who's Jean Loring? I believe she was, at this time, the ex-wife of the Atom, if I'm correctly. And she wants to know where she can find Qatar Hall. She's an attorney, and she needs to speak with him. All right. So they also talk about who she is. And she says, so she's the Adam's wife, huh? Ex-wife. He caught her with another man and made himself scars. Now she and her current husband have a corporate law gig, most for costume metas. All right, so okay, she cheated on him. So this is Qatar, and he is reading the papers that Jean is giving him. So, so I inherited all this from the first Hawkman, or rather, yes, or rather, it was deeded to you. You are the only recipient. Recipient? Yeah, that's the word. Carter Hall and his wife Shara were very clear on this. So wait a minute. So if Carter and Shara died, so then who is this? Is this another reincarnation of Shara, or I don't know. Like I said, I don't have all the information. I'm just guessing. And but it seems that this Hawkman is also some kind of a, I don't know, powers or something. He can see people's auras. Not sure what that does actually, but it seems he can do that. So he goes to this particular building, and this is some kind of an apartment that the previous owners, previous Hawkman and Hawk Girl or Hawk Woman, were owners of, and now they are, well, now they can live here. So they're getting a tour. So, and this guy says, or Hawkman says, by the way, this guy says, so you mean you guys move out of my place? And Hawkman says, it would not be because we are ungrateful, Dennis, but your home is quite small. And he says, well, I mean, you really want to leave? So he's very happy that they are leaving because, well, he is, it seems from the last issues, people, targeting Hawkman, which brings him and his people who live in that building in danger. All right, cool. So, but then we see on the television here, that's a big one, by the way, the news, and it says, Efren Dees, the well-known philanthropist and self-made millionaire, is in the city hall at this moment, offering this help in repairing the widespread devastation of the wake of, well, that's the wake of what's happening probably in the last issue with the Godspawn, I'm guessing. So, and then we go to Ephraim, and Ephraim is talking to the major, and he says, you offer me tax breaks and promising all business-like, I'm sure. Unfortunately, this is all unacceptable. There is no pain involved, and all successful real estate ventures are based on pain and fear. Whites fear blacks, and they move further and further out. Blacks fear crime and follow the whites. Still poorer blacks are trapped in areas without jobs. Crime explodes. Whites move further out, continuing the cycle. So he says that is the true nature of real estate, and basically he just wants that because there's profit in it somehow. And yeah, so you can see him ripping the flag apart, which is a really bad idea. So he says, basically he says, you keep whining about saving the poor, about safety nets and such, but the destruction of the poor, and after them the middle class is what provides my profit margin. All right? I expect to own Chicago after I build it, and expect you to help me destabilize it so it will continue to make me money for the next 30 years. And at this point, another desperate major will call me to rebuild it again. And then he says this, which reminds me, your wife is attractive. Have her come to my room tonight. Oh, and Mr. Major, you can get off your knees now. That made me laugh. So later he gets a letter somehow. Hawkman, if you can read this, find me at the Lyle Brewery. Dees. All right. And Hawkman just do that. And but he knows that it's some kind of a trap for reasons. And also Shariara is here knocked out. So there's something going on here. And so the evil guy's narrative, I'll call him evil guy because, well, black. Hawkman knows it's a trap, of course, but I wonder if he knows that old Ephraim is what the hunters and trappers who roamed this area called the Grizzly Bear. So he's Hawkman coming here, and I'm not sure why Ephraim wants to meet with him and what he actually wants. It could be that, let's say, I'm sorry. Where is he? This guy wants to, have a couple of, how do you say, murderous hitman, whatever you call it, and wants to get rid of Hawkman for whatever reasons. So Ephraim comes here and he says, "Since you are a busy man, I am, as I am, why don't I tell you everything you want to know, so we don't be croaking out questions and answers in between blows." So we have the origin here. He was some kind of a, I don't know, some kind of a grunt in Alaska, and he's doing pipeline work. I'm not seeing any pipelines here, but he's been hit by lightning, and then instead of dying, I was filled by a being of great power and slashing grace, the bear. It was much like how you were filled with power during your encounter with the Hawk God. Okay, yeah, that's in issue 13. So yes, it seems that if you get hit by lightning, you get bear powers. This seems a little bit unlikely. I know comics, but mostly it would, if you have powers, it was more like radiation or cosmic storms or blood transfusions or mutants and or other maybe magic or something, but not, being struck by lightning. So Hawkman says, "I cannot see your aura. Why not?" I said, "You mean this?" And then we see that. And 7 hells, where does this power comes from? And then he attacks him. He also says that when he got this power, his eyes were wider open, and become a millionaire somehow. His appearance reminds me a little bit of Kraven the Hunter. Maybe because of this jacket that he has on, his pelt, and that he has, I don't know, animalistic powers. Well, although Kraven does not have any power, but animal themed. And he's going at it, and he's actually pretty strong. And then Hawkman does this, and he also already has a weird nose. If you look at this a little bit, well, where is it? Why am I like here? Maybe he's been punched in the face before, and he's giggling. He's liking that, and then he's kicking Hawkman's ass, and he's incredibly strong too. I mean, look at this. He says then, "You know what happens, Qatar Hall, when a grizzly gets his paws on a hawk? This." So he uses then his aura or his bear powers to, biting the neck or shoulder of Qatar here, or Hawkman. And so he's throwing ninja stars, I guess. And and then he throws it back. So, and then he says, basically says, time to finish this. And he says, do you think a mere Sidon can stop me, Hall? And then he shoots him, and then bear guy is deflecting everything. But then it reflects, on the ground, but then this beam or power bullet or whatever it is hitting then the flammable something, and the whole thing exploded. This looks freaking awesome. Look at this, man. You almost feel the explosion outside of the pages. Very kinetic, very impressive art. I mean, I'm not how do you say it? When I look at this art, I think, it's cool, it's okay, it's good, but it's not really that fantastic. But when I see this, it's great stuff, really cool. And bear guys attacking him still, and finally Hawkman can't take it anymore, and he takes to the skies. And then, the battle continues. He says, "Kill you, eat your heart, you can beat me." And he's really going at him. And then Qatar says, "The pain can fly much. Next to the others, you know nothing." But then he, I don't know, because of the pain, maybe Qatar lets Bear Guy go. And, Bear Guy is still attacking him, but not, grabbing him. So he falls. And he says, "I'm unstoppable. I'm invincible." I love this shot that, panel by panel, and he's falling and falling. So the narrative says, or the evil guy's narrative says, "Yes, he always struck me as a bit of foolish. There are some things even we cannot survive." So you know where this is going. So he says, But all may not be lost. Perhaps he will have his fall broken by a well-placed awning or a convenient flagpole, or he may even fall into rooftop, which he's not. Perhaps not. So yeah, this guy's dead, and not quite so invincible, are we, Ephraim? Be of good cheer, my friends. Cartal, you have beaten this one. Rejoice. Well, actually, he has not beaten him. He's just, almost being killed by this guy. So by sheer accident, he just lost his grip. And then, well, he's falling to his death. Yeah, and that leads us to the next issue. So yeah, I'm really curious who is the evil guy that wants to kill or get rid of Hawkman. But I still don't know what this motivation is for him going after Hawkman. Maybe it was a hit or something. I don't know. But that leads into this to the next part, into issue number 2 featuring Aquaman. We also have Wonder Woman, or Diana in this case, with her very sexy costume. That leads us to the conclusion and in this one. So I'm looking forward to getting those. Guys, let me know what you think about this comic. And yeah, I like it. See you next time. Bye-bye.